never done one of these before. So I'm just trying to learn how to do them, really. I'm not trying to be clever or I don't have particular things to say or opinions. I have just been watching YouTubes for a long time, and I thought I would feel more confident if I knew how to make my own. You know, you disagree with people and you think, that's not right. Well, you know, you have that chance to go on there and tell them yourself that's not right. So today's topic is my dog. I had only been here about 6 months before I got the dog. I used to have dogs, but none of those dogs were mine. They belonged to my partner, and after they died, I had the job of looking after them, and gradually, one by one, they died. And they break your heart when they die. And so when I came, I moved to get away from the memories, and I kept telling myself, Rick, don't get a dog. Don't get a dog. You know, you have to look after them. You have to take them to the vet. You worry about them. You have to walk them. They make a mess in your house. They make your house smell like a dog. You have to find someone to look after them if you want to go away. It's hard to leave them here even for a couple of hours because you know they're pining. They feel abandoned and all of that. But I kept looking at the rescue website, and this one in particular had been there for a couple of months. I'd seen him. There was nothing special about him other than they said he was a bit goofy, or something like a goofball or something like that. And I don't know why, but I just liked the look of him. No real reason. I had decided I wanted a bigger dog because we had dachshunds, and they're lovely dogs, but I wanted a bigger dog. I thought Staffy. So, in spite of saying to myself, don't get a dog, I had been watching the local rescue page, and I think they had a Facebook and a website as well. And there was a dog there that I'd seen, and the description just said he's a goofball. And I knew I didn't want a goofball, but for some reason I liked the look of him. So eventually I had a look at the page. I noticed that he was the last dog that they had, which of course wasn't exactly true because they did have others who weren't quite ready to be adopted yet, and some were with foster families and so on. But he was the last one available there at the rescue place. So I went in for a meet and greet, and they let you go into the pen with him. And so I went in, and there was a concrete slab, and I sat down, and he just came up and put his head on my shoulder. You know, it's far better if the dog picks you than you pick the dog. I had picked dogs before and been terrible. The outcome wasn't good. So I let him do the picking, and I said to them, okay, I'll take him home. And On the way home, he vomited in the car. And, you know, there was a lot of, we get winter rain, and I was doing a lot of drainage in the backyard, so there were muddy footprints all through the house. And one funny thing, I'd only had him for about 3 weeks, and I was weeding in the garden. And next door there was a huge Alsatian called Ziggy. Ziggy. I can't even say it. Ziggy. And this Alsatian, I think, well, we could hear him, but he didn't bark a lot or anything, but I could hear him. And I think I was talking to Ziggy. Hi, Ziggy, how you going? Blah, blah, blah. And Lenny just walked up to me, cocked his leg and sprayed. And I didn't say anything. I just went and changed my pants, but I thought it was bizarre, so I Googled it, and it said, they're claiming you. By doing that, he's saying, you're mine, this one's mine, and they usually do it if there's another dog around who could be competition. This other dog might pinch you, so they're saying, no, you're mine. And rather than being disgusted, I felt rather chuffed that he wanted to keep me. Anyway, I discovered that he had some very good traits, like he doesn't dig, doesn't bark excessively, doesn't mess in the house, doesn't chew anything, doesn't. And when I go away for an hour or two, I don't come home to pillars ripped in half or anything like that. Everything is just normal. So he seems to be able to just relax while I'm away. Obviously, he bounces all over me when I get home, but so he does have a lot of good traits. He has a couple of bad ones, and I noticed them almost straight away. He's very reactive to other dogs. I haven't been able to. That is a bit better now, but I think only because he feels a bit more secure living here. It hasn't really changed. And the other thing is he drags you everywhere. Like, he pulls on the lead really bad from day one. And again, it's funny. People must laugh watching me walk him, because eventually I get sick of being dragged. So I just stop walking. And he knows that he knows where he's supposed to be, right beside me. So if I stop, he will stop and take half a step backwards. If I still don't move, then he'll take another step backwards. And if I still don't move, he will yelp and leap in the air and come back to right beside me, which of course is where I want him. But within 0.3 of a second, as soon as I start moving again, he's right out at the front on the end of the lead. So I haven't made much headway in that department. But that's Lenny. I kept his name, and after I had him for a year, like, a part of the fee that you pay for him is his registration for a year. So I don't think I got any paperwork until a year later, when the council sent me the bill for his registration. And I noticed on it that he had been registered in February 2020. I picked him up in June 2022. So he was 2.5 years old. But so he was registered in my council area. And I don't know, he was picked up as a stray. That's why he was in the rescue. We didn't have any of his history, which is kind of unusual, because you'd think that there would have been a phone number or something of the people. I suppose I could try to follow that up with the council, although there's sort of privacy issues. Anyway, that's my dog, Lenny. And of course, like most dogs, he gets lots of different names, you know, Lindado, or his name is Lenny officially, but I call him Lennie. That's sort of a more colloquial sort of version. And then he gets Lindado and Lendy and all sorts of things. Another trait that I like about him is that he's never shown any aggression towards me. And he, when we're playing, he doesn't play much. If you buy him a toy, he doesn't play with it. He'll toss it around for 5 minutes and then stop. That's it. He's not interested. And similarly, he'll play with me in the backyard for 5 minutes and then stop. But during that play, if my hand accidentally ends up in his mouth, he just freezes with his mouth open. Like, and I really am pleased with that characteristic. The worst part of it is the reactiveness, and also he's a hunter. So there's lots of wildlife around here, and there have been a couple of occasions when well, we weren't talking to each other. There are things called bandicoots, and one day he grabbed one of them and killed it. There are rabbits around here too, but he hasn't attacked any of them. I have seen him walk straight over the top of snakes. Around here we get a snake called the copperhead, and it is venomous. But fortunately, they tend to just stay still and let you pass, which is just as well, because Lenny just walks right over the top of them. Just one day he saw it and backed off. So that was the only time that I've seen him react the way he's supposed to with snakes. The rest of the time he just walks over the top, didn't even see it. I shudder to think. Anyway, that's the story about my dog.